India are on an unbeaten run in the Champions Trophy, and now it is the penultimate clash. It is the semi-final, and India take on the Aussies on Tuesday. And there's a lot of excitement at the same time, a lot of nervousness within the Indian fans as it's the mighty Aussies, and it is going to be a mouth-watering clash. What to expect tomorrow? I have with me to discuss on that the SportFit team. I have Jishu Bhattacharya and Shane with me here in the studios. Well, boys, what do you think? What do we expect tomorrow? It's going to be a mouth-watering clash, but will India be nervous this time? Which one would you bet on?
I mean, look, it's not just the Indian team that are nervous. If you go on social media and check, then the only thing that's doing the rounds right now are Travis Head memes. And with very good reason. I mean, this man denied India 2 ICC events in 2023. The WTC final as well, he ended up playing a very good knock. And let's not even talk about what happened in the World Cup final. So there's definitely nerves, even though it's, they did beat Australia in the 2024 World Cup en route to winning the T20 World Cup. There is definitely a lot of nervousness among fans, and understandably so, because there's a lot of parallels really that are being drawn between 2023. You were unbeaten, then of course you ended up reaching the final, then lost there. So, and of course, who was the team that beat you? It was Australia. So I think there's nervousness, but I think this is also an Indian team that are doing very well, and as we'll get to later, will have the advantage of conditions, of favorable conditions going in their favor.
Absolutely. In fact, if we talk about the Australian side, because we've spoken about Travis Head, and of course it has always had a very strong leadership, and not to forget that Aussies have always been the team that gives their best when it comes to the biggest tournaments and the biggest clashes. You can always bet on them when it comes to such important matches. But this time, how would you rate, or I would say talk about the Aussie team? Is it strong enough as we've seen in the past in other ICC tournaments?
See, they are a depleted side to start. They are without Pat Cummins, they are without Mitchell Starc, they are without Josh Hazlewood. They're 3 main fast bowlers. But you know what? You never write off an Australian side when they are playing an ICC tournament. There were a lot of talks about their side being the weakest Australian side in any World Cups back in 2023. But what did they do? They pulled out their best cards. They beat us in the final. So you do not write them off. But of course, as far as the bowling goes, India currently are more superior than them in the bowling area. We have seen what our spinners did to New Zealand, to Pakistan, to Bangladesh. I mean, they'll be wary of Indian spinners, and there was a report yesterday that they practiced against spinners specifically in the ICC Cricket Academy to prepare just for this clash. But when it's India versus Australia, no matter how weak an Australian side is, you never write them off.
In fact, as you were mentioning about Travis Head, the 2023 tournament will be, of course, fresh in the minds of many of us. But at the same time, how would you, look at the way Indian team has been performing? They will be high on confidence indeed. At the same time, how do you look at the team combination? We will stick to the winning combination, you feel?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, team combination has been a source of discussion ever since before the Champions Trophy, for the simple reason that India went in with so many spin options, and people at that time were wondering why. Why? But then now you realize in hindsight, they knew that these would be tired pitches. Don't forget, Dubai had been playing host to a lot of matches in the ILT20. In fact, it was the Dubai Capitals who did win the title. So there's been a lot of exposure on those pitches. It is obviously much warmer. So no matter how much you prep the pitches, however much you water them, get them in good condition, there is going to be sluggishness. And now with the tournament already, remember, 3 matches have been played in that venue, and in the 3rd match itself they dropped 1 pacer in Harshit Rana and brought in Varun Chakravarti, who had a match-winning impact, 5-wicket haul. I don't think they're going to change that for the semis. I'd be very surprised, unless of course a surprise is sprung on the day of the match and they realize, oh, this is a very fresh pitch, it might not really suit us to go with so many spin options. Right now, I think for India, the mantra is simple: spin to win.
Spin to win indeed. And how would we look at the pitch? If it might be tired or it might be a fresh pitch issue, but if we can tell our viewers how the pitch has been behaving and what has been advantages to India, or what could be advantages for Aussies, or maybe disadvantages.
See, the pitch in Dubai is a bit on the slower side. The batsmen are not getting to time the ball. If you see the India versus Pakistan match or the India versus Bangladesh match, and as a matter of fact, yesterday Kane Williamson got out to a delivery where he tried to charge the bowler. This is a clear indication that, they are not being able to time or middle the ball properly. The ball is not coming off the surface properly, and there's not enough bounce, the ball is gripping. So this is what India did, they fielded 3 spinners, 3 world-class spinners, out of which 2 of the spinners can bat, Akshar and Ravindra Jadeja. So it is extremely, it will be extremely difficult for Australia because they are born and brought up in fast, bouncy pitches. So just to adjust to this just for one match, because they have been playing the entire Champions Trophy in Pakistan. This is the first time they are coming in Dubai, they are playing, and they'll play on tight tracks. I mean, India have the advantage of playing in Dubai. They are well set, they are comfortable, they know the situations well. So, but the pitch will be on a slower side. I mean, it's going to be a huge task for Australia. I mean, how they bat, how they negate the conditions. It won't be a 350, 360 high scoring of a kind of a game. I mean, somewhere around 260, 270 on this kind of a track, you're good to go.
We cannot actually underestimate the Aussie batters. We've seen how what they did against England as well. So, what will be India's counter to the Aussies if you talk about batting first?
I mean, if you're trying to get the Aussie batters, then you have to target their weaknesses. Travis Head, we know he's a match winner, dangerous player, but early on is susceptible to the short ball. Maybe that's an area you need to target. We know that the likes of Smith and Labuschagne can sometimes be iffy against quality spin and white ball cricket. That will be the area you target. I think you'd have to target the weaknesses and look to get wickets, because again, this is a side chock-a-block full of quality. You will need to be getting regular wickets. You cannot hope that you get early inroads and then just slack off. I mean, we saw India do that against Bangladesh, and that was a match they could have won very comfortably. Bangladesh didn't have the quality to punish them for that let-off. Australia will. There is no doubts about it. So, if from a bowling perspective, it has to be ultra-attacking, get plenty of wickets, get them out quickly, do not let them bat 50 overs, whether batting first or second.
And we'll come to the toss also, but talking about India's batting now, Jishu, we've seen quite a few of hiccups, we've seen exceptional performance as well, but how do we see, what are the chinks in the armour if you talk about India's batting?
I mean, see, they are largely dependent on Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli till this point in time. But they have an exceptional batting order. They bat very deep. They bat till 8. Yesterday we saw, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. They got out pretty early to the New Zealand bowlers. But Shreyas Iyer, he has been extremely impressive so far, starting from the 2023 World Cup. I remember when the 2019 World Cup was played, India had this big issue that we do not have our well-determined number 4, which also led to the debacle in that World Cup. So, but now you have someone like a Shreyas Iyer. What's been bothering for me is the fact is that you are promoting Akshar Patel ahead of KL Rahul. Now, KL Rahul is a far better batsman than Akshar Patel. I mean, not questioning Akshar Patel's ability over here. But, I mean, I can't wrap around my head, that why would you do something like this? Why does someone like a KL Rahul walks in at 6 or a 7? I mean, the position is too low for him. I understand he started out as an opener, but you have Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill opening for you. But KL Rahul shouldn't bat that low. I think he should come straight after Shreyas Iyer. But I think that they had a good lesson. Shubman Gill, Virat, Rohit, they got out pretty early. They will have their lessons. They will work upon that. But I think the Indian batting is way too strong for a depleted Australian bowling lineup. So that's my take on it.
And who would be your best bet as far as the bowlers are concerned from India?
I mean, for me, I would have to back the man in form. It has to be Varun. And I mean, for him, it's a big redemption story as well. Because if you take the words Varun Chakravarti playing for India in an ICC tournament in Dubai, you always go back to the horror show of 2021 that actually put his India career on ice. Many people thought forever. Of course, he's come back from that. He's improved his bowling. I think he'd be the person, because even with the New Zealand batters, no one was really looking to take him on until much later, because he's worked on a few new tricks. He's become a lot more consistent, much tougher to pick. And we know that the Aussie batters, especially in the middle order, will struggle a little bit against quality, tricky spin. And he does have that mystery element about him. I think he'll be the person. Other than that, of course, you have to look at Mohammad Shami. I know he's been a little hit or miss, but then we have to also remember coming back from a very long injury layoff. Rhythm takes time. He is a rhythm bowler. We saw in 2023, when he did get into rhythm, he was unstoppable. So I think this would be the time for him to kick in, and he's someone who does perform on the big occasions. I think these are the two players who I'd be looking at to get you wickets and potentially win you the game.
And if you talk about the toss, what would India do if it wins the toss?
They should back their A game, which is chasing, right? Yeah. We saw there's no dew on the Dubai International Stadium. So right now, it's not about if you are batting first or if you are bowling first, So the game will be won by the unit that bowls well. in my opinion, who uses the condition well, who use the pitches well, and Australia are smart enough a team. You know, they can use the conditions pretty well, and India obviously have been playing all the games over here. But if India win the toss, I mean, they had a fair amount of match practice in the New Zealand game where they had to bat first, right? But they look like a more settled unit when they are chasing a target. When India are tasked with the responsibility to set a target, you can see that they crumble a bit around pressure. They are, I mean, they are doubting their own skills. But if they win the toss, I definitely feel they should chase.
Right. So I think India is on the cusp of victory, or I would say history. After 2013, everybody has been waiting for that. An ICC tournament, you know, our hopes are up, especially after 2024. That long drought finally ended of a World Cup, and now it's time for a Champions Trophy percentage, win-lose percentage for India.
I think I would give a 70-30 in India's favor.
Same. So 70-30 India. What's your prediction?
Well, I like the number 7. So I would go for the 7 and a 0. I think India should be. I think it's going to be a very exciting game, and we would want, in fact, you know, it to be not so much of an one-sided game. We want it to be exciting, a nail-biter, so that we will have much more to talk about after the match, as we do on Republic World and Sport Fit. But indeed, I feel that India, I would go ahead and say maybe 75-80%. I think I just want to pump in more confidence this time, although I am nervous. Whenever the mighty Aussies are there, you know, I think India and Australia are the biggest, best rivalry at the moment in cricket, if we talk about. But thank you so much, Jishu and Shane, for those insights of yours. And Republic TV continues to track all the updates, viewers, on Champions Trophy. Don't forget to join us on the broadcast and also on digital platforms. And do share your views. What do you feel about tomorrow's fixture, about Tuesday's fixture, about this semi-final? Do tune in. Do write your comments there down below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be right back with more after the match.